Peace, blessed be the fruit. So I don't have much time, but I still wanted to take some time today to get on a topic. So I'm going to go through my list, and the one that's on the last, it says sometimes we create stress in toxic situations because we deem it to be safe, right? So familiarity, when it comes to your mind, even if it's a toxic situation or toxicity or anything that we deem to be opposite of peace and joy and happiness and all of that, it really is something that you have to pay attention to because it becomes a pattern. And this is where self-sabotaging can come into your life. She knows it's about her time to eat, so she's like, where's my food? And I already put her food up on the counter for right now until I leave, because I literally have to trick her, because if I don't, she'll just be meow, 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 meow when I leave. So I feed her and then I leave the door, because then she's active in her eating. So she knows it's about that time. Anyways, so if you guys hear a meow, that's why. Anyways, so our mind will begin to create scenarios, or we'll go out and look for scenarios, or through our thought forms, we'll look for scenarios in our environment that is familiar territory, right? So this is where the triggers come in. Whenever you're triggered by something or someone, right, what ends up happening is that it triggers a memory, right? And when it triggers a memory, it begins to tell you that this is familiar territory. And some of us enjoy it. Some of us love the toxic situations, and even though you may not admit it, you keep seeing the same toxicity in relationships that you're in. You keep seeing all the drama unfolding in your life. All of that is familiar territory that you keep inviting into your world according to the vibration that you have. So, my note, sometimes we create stress in toxic situations because we deem it to be safe. Now, since it's a familiar situation or familiar energy, for us, it creates this safe space because we understand it and we know it, right? And this is why sometimes what it is that you think for yourself verbally, or that you see, like, yes, I would love to have a loving relationship, or, you know, I would love to have this and love to have that. It's not about what you want, it's about who you are. And so even though you might be able to visualize a love in a way that you've never experienced, as an example, you're not going to receive that, because everything is vibrational and everything is going off of a program. So in order for you to begin to get out of that programmed state of familiarity and having the brain always, or your brain always scanning your environment for things that are a familiar frequency to what you've been experiencing, it's important to catch those thoughts, catch yourself in that state, catch yourself in, you know, those toxic thought forms that are not allowing you to expand your experience, and that's not allowing you to experience things that, you know, you desire. And everything is always deemed from a memory, a trigger, familiarity, a pattern. Like, we all have patterns. We always all have patterns. And so you really have to sit back and, you know, view what this pattern is of yours. You know, that's why you hear people all the say, I feel like I'm dating the same person, but in a different body. Because it's you. You are the date. You are the person. You are dating yourself. You know, and so until that frequency of yourself changes, and until you begin to honor, you know, wanting to do something different and being somebody different, then you're going to keep, you know, scanning the room for familiarity. And even though you might have somebody over here that might be different from how you view what your type is, it's going to pass you by, because you're only scanning the room for what feels familiar. I mean, that is some powerful shit. Like, really pay attention to that. So even though you're desiring to have something different, because you're not that different thing or that different energy, you're still going to continue to experience, you're still going to be experiencing what is programmed. And so being able to, like I mentioned in my video yesterday, if you didn't see it, go see it, where I was speaking about how it's my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 theory, right? So whenever I feel a thought coming on that is impure, unjust, it's not a part of where I want to be, or where I want to lead myself into this new personality that I'm going into, I have to shut that shit down. I have to tell it, this is not the story that we're telling anymore. This is not the program that I want you to be on. The mind is a powerful thing, and the beautiful thing about the mind is that it serves you. But if you don't tell it what to do, then you're going to serve it. You know what I'm saying? And so there has to come a point where you begin to acknowledge these aspects of yourself. And you cannot take your old self into a new world. All right? You literally have to create another personality, because your personality is going to create your personal reality. That is going to be this video, the title. Your personality is going to create your new personal reality. So everything is within, nothing is without. All of this is just dress up and, having fun and changing, but the real work is within yourself. The real work is within yourself, and how you show up for yourself externally is always a reflection of how you're feeling within. And until you're able to grasp this concept, you're going to constantly be playing the same story, the same song, the same environment, the same people. And don't you get tired of that? Like, don't you want to experience something new? You have the power to do that. I have the power to do that. We all have the power to do that, but you have to want it bad enough to where you begin to take accountability for your bullshit. And a lot of people don't want to take accountability. They love staying the victim. They love self-sabotage. They love blaming other people for things that have happened in their past and their lives. You're not there anymore. You're not tied down to that anymore. Now it's your choice, but you're choosing mentally to still be there. And it's a memory. It's all you're doing is you're replaying this memory over and over and over again, telling your stories. That's why I'm not a big fan of like the healing journey, the healing journey, the healing journey. It's like you keep telling yourself that you're broken. You're not broken. You just keep holding on to a pattern, a program. That doesn't need healing. That needs accountability and awareness. That needs a certain level of consciousness. Now, everybody's entitled to live whatever life they want to live, but all I am saying is that going around keep telling yourself that you're healing, or you're going to healing circles, or you're going to a healing retreat. It's like, why do you constantly feel that you're broken? And that's why sometimes I feel, even through spirituality, we still try to coach shit, but we're still living in that same victim mentality. But now we're coding it under spirituality. It's a memory, babes. It's a program. It's a state of consciousness. That doesn't require any type of healing. It requires awareness and the steady consistency of telling yourself a new story. You needed that experience. That experience, and whatever you had to go through had to happen. Contrast must exist. Because whatever it is on the opposite side of that contrast is helping you to recognize the other end of it. You can't have dark without light. You can't have up without down. You can't have cold without hot. You can't have masculine without feminine. It's all connected. So you needed that. Don't self-sabotage yourself. Create a new personality if you really want to experience a new personal reality. All right? You can't take your old self into your new earth. You can't. Everything in this life is an initiation game. You're constantly initiating yourself into the next level. This is a game that you're playing. You're the player of the game. You're seeing it. You're watching yourself move, or maybe you're not. But still, consciously and subconsciously, you're directing your paths, whether you're living by design or by default. You're directing everywhere that you go. And the determination of that, what that chaos is going to be in your life, is how you perceive it. All right, so I gotta go. This was just a quick video, but I just always want to drop you guys some jewels. Thank you for being present, and always remember, we are an infinite being with limitless possibilities. All right? Put that in the comments. Peace.